Welcome to the Just Jim Radio Show. This episode is happening in paradise. It's beautiful out there today, and it's lovely to take in all that life has to offer, but even more importantly, look at what we can offer life. And we're coming into that time of the year where Thanksgiving's rolling around. It gives me a little bit of a desire for turkey and stuffing and all the wonderful treats that comes along with it. So our topic today is going to be the truth of gratitude. This particular show is going to be a bit of just a sharing about that truth of gratitude. It's going to be just Jim for this show. I've devoted so much time, over 40 years actually, as a medium, teacher, healer, counselor, inspirational speaker, and writer, working with people in their exploration and discovery of their spiritual truth, their purpose, their pathway in life. My personal and spiritual purpose is to be of service, to support people, to find their connection and a relationship to God, to spirit, to their higher purpose and inspiration. Really just here to help people find what they're looking for in their life, make a difference, make some changes, heal some things. And the show is also here to bring that inspiration, the different things that we can do to help you see things differently. I've got to watch myself repeating myself like that, but to help you see things a little bit clearer or in a different way or from a different angle, or maybe wake something up inside, support you in being able to do that. And it's an interesting topic, the truth of gratitude. How does that play out? Well, it is the season of gratitude, of Thanksgiving, as I was saying. And at this time, we have the opportunity to look at and be grateful for what we have. That's one way of looking at gratitude. It's frequently how we do. What have we got, or what have we gotten already, or what has already occurred? And not just the things we have in our life. It's really important to look closely at who we are. Who have we become? How often do we stop and look closely at where we are, who we are, what's going on in our lives? Listen to what we want or how we want it to be. We first have to start with what's here, what's now. And that's with having gratitude for what we've got. It brings that freedom and that knowing of where we are and what's happening. I mean, what we have will come and go. Who we are will change. Who we are in this moment, right now, is our truth. This is a moment of truth. This is a moment of you. And I encourage you, as you're listening and afterwards, to take the time to stop, to look within, to listen to what your truth is about what's going on first within you, your thoughts, your feelings, your awareness of yourself. And then as you look out from that place, how you see your life, how you see your relationships, your family, your work, whatever it is you're doing in your life, see it and understand that it's a blessing and a gift. Even if it's challenging, it's got a lesson in it for you. It's about being grateful. And in that gratitude, you let go of holding on so tightly, and you allow yourself to be open and experience yourself differently. It's important to remember not only to be grateful for ourselves and our lives, but be grateful for one another and the bounty and abundance of our world. We think sometimes that we're limited because our perception or our awareness or our circumstances or the history or evidence of what we've experienced proves to us or says to us we don't have enough, or there's not enough time, or I don't have what I want. But when we stop and put aside those thoughts of absence or those thoughts of not having, and we begin to look more closely at what we do have, how grateful we can be for where we are right here, right now, and how life is. And for most of us, it may be difficult for some that are listening, but for most of us, right now, it's okay. Right now. Well, this might need to be changed, or that might need to be addressed, or that might need to be done. But right here, right now, when we turn within and be grateful for what we've got, the truth is, it's okay. Khalil Gibran says, truth is a deep kindness that teaches us to be content in our everyday life and share with people the same happiness. That's a beautiful statement. I love his books. The Prophet's one of my favorite. And to say that truth is a deep kindness that teaches us to be content in our daily life, it allows us to be in touch with what we are and what we have and how it is, rather than what we don't or what we'd like to have or we wished we could have. And it has us drop into this place that allows us to then be that with other people in our lives. It changes how we interact with people. It changes how we are with people, or how we bring ourselves to our work or our purpose, or how we function in our lives. And so coming from this place of kindness, which is and compassion and understanding, that's a Buddhist focus. It's about first being grateful. My wife and I use gratitude in our relationship. I mean, not just being thankful for each other or what we give each other. That's wonderful too. We have a fantastic relationship and share so much with one another. When we stop and we're grateful for each other, who each other is. I mean, so often we look at the roles people play in our lives, or the relationship, or this kind of agreement we've made with who they are and how we are with them, and that becomes the relationship. And when we stop and look more closely at who's right there in front of me, we see them differently. Not because of the circumstances surrounding the relationship, not because of what the obligation or commitment, not because of the role they might play or the image they might show up in our consciousness as. We see them for who they really are. And just as we see ourselves for who we really are, and we are able to see that truth within us that allows us to be kind and gentle and open to one another, it has shifted our relationship with my wife and I by constantly being grateful, first for each other, and then we start to look around and see, what we have in our lives. And when we do, it allows us to let go and to be able to see more clearly what we want to create next. When I'm grateful for who my wife is, I can see her and experience her more fully and more deeply. I'm more present with her because I'm not seeing who she's supposed to be, but who she really is. We create using gratitude. When we stop and recognize what we have, as I was mentioning, we get excited and open and present. We're like, wow, look what we have here in our life. To not only enjoy what we have, but it inspires us and encourages us to create even more. Not so much things. It's this excitement and openness and enjoyment. It's like that very essence of life, that when we're grateful for it, you see the home or the car or the job or the finances or the relationship is something to be grateful for. But it's really the essence of that experience that it allows us to be able to have within is what it means to us and what really matters. And so when we're starting to look at how we can feel as a result of being grateful, it sets us free into being who we are more fully. I use it in my relationships, in my interactions, in my life, in the work, and in the world. We have this opportunity to look at each other and see each other for who we think we are. I just said who we think we are. We start using perception. And we have to look through our own understanding. We have to look through our own beliefs, absolutely. But what we need to do is also stop for a moment and see each other for who we are. So in a work environment, in public, in situations where we may not even know this person, how could we possibly recognize who this person is? Or if we're interacting with them at work or on a board or anything else like that, we have to look at them for who they are and then be grateful for that, who they are and what they bring to that situation, or who we are and what we bring to it. And in this attitude of gratitude, when we see people in that way, it sets them free by us releasing our judgment. We let go of our judgment and we kind of see things for how they are. I was saying a few minutes ago, for everybody, really, except for extreme situations, where we're sitting right here, right now, is okay. And when we stop and see somebody else that way, and see them with more acceptance and compassion and understanding, like the Buddhists, we're able to embrace them with this gratitude, this attitude of gratitude, this innocence and freedom that comes from doing that. We talked about, gratitude and truth, the truth of gratitude. Gratitude is an instrument of truth. It's the joyful celebration of acceptance of what is truth filled with joy. And that's the thing that we're looking to experience in our lives, joy. Certainly love. And love is another factor that shows up as we open up into gratitude for what is and embrace the world in that manner. It opens our heart to be able to be filled with love, to be filled with joy. And accepting what is, we are filling our lives with joy and with love. And the only place we're going to be able to experience that isn't just what we might get from someone else or experience with someone else, it's what we bring to it. And when we're looking more closely with gratitude, we're feeling that joy and that love more fully. And when you feel joy with freedom, it brings about like an ecstatic delight. I'm so grateful. Oh, here I am being grateful for how life shows up when I'm so glad or thankful for how things are. It allows me to really let go into an overwhelming happiness or a joyful excitement that allows me to feel a sense of transcendence. It's like it takes me out of what's going on because I'm not so caught up in it. I'm not trying to make it what it needs to be. I'm accepting it for what it is, and I'm being thankful and grateful for it. We can do this in so many different ways. I mean, some of us have challenging times in our lives with family or relationships or friendships, but looking at them and seeing that we have them in our lives and we're able to have that acceptance and that joy and that freedom awakens this experience of self-transcendence, this truth, and even more. Neil Donald Walsh says, struggle ends when gratitude begins. It's that key that opens the door that lets us out of where we're keeping ourselves, sort of trapped in the way we see things and how we have to see things be. So I like to take the time every day, just every day, to stop for a moment. And when I say truth, I want to say, how do I really see how things are? And it's not always easy to be grateful for things that are difficult or challenging in our lives. Sometimes we come up against obstacles or up against challenges that are hard to be grateful for. And what we have to do there is look a little bit more further into them, because what they're doing is they're bringing our attention to something that we can then choose differently. And in doing so, create an opening to be able to express or experience ourselves differently. And that freedom is something that we can be grateful for, the lesson that has been brought to us when the struggle ends, like Neil Donald Walsh says, because gratitude begins. It's about seeing the truth for what it is of our lives and then choosing from that point what's next. And when I speak of truth, I speak not of the truth or of a truth. I speak of your truth. It is your truth that you stand on and stand for in your life. You take a stand, you stand in your truth, you are in a peaceful, gentle, true place when you embrace your life for what it is and are grateful for it. See your truth within you in that joy and that freedom, that love that I was talking about a few minutes ago. And then you're arriving. The next step can be filled with whatever